Sarasa. We start this hour with the coronavirus pandemic. The World Health Organization now saying Europe has become the epicenter. More than 137,000 people around the world have been infected. China seeing the end of it, while Italy sees the biggest jumps in deaths and infections. And in the U.S., the effort nationwide is to slow down the rate of infection and make testing more available as fears of recession grow. We're learning Los Angeles Unified School District and San Diego schools will now close. 750,000 students will be affected. Washington, D.C. public schools also announcing it will close through the rest of March. Currently, Idaho and West Virginia are the only two states with no cases. Today, President Trump is likely to declare a national emergency to aid the coronavirus response. This after his administration has faced criticism over its response to the pandemic. The move could help open tens of thousands of billions of dollars to fight the virus. But another issue on the table, testing for the disease. Those critical, urgently needing testing kits remain in limited supply. The Department of Health and Human Services has announced it will fund two companies for the development of rapid diagnostic tests for coronavirus. One of the rapid tests will be ready in about 6 weeks and the other in 12 weeks. And these are designed to give a result within an hour. Lorraine, now back to you. Thank you, Andrea Linares, for that report. The new measures adopted to speed up testing comes as the Trump administration has been sharply criticized for its slow response to the virus, particularly when it comes to testing. In contrast, South Korea has tested more than 230,000 people for free and set up drive-through testing weeks ago. Meanwhile, Vice President Pence and Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said this week they don't know how many Americans have been tested. In order to understand how the coronavirus test works and if there are enough to go around, let's go to Maureen Farron. She's a molecular biologist and viral researcher. Meanwhile, members of Congress are figuring out the best way to combat the threat. Many on Capitol Hill are also trying to keep themselves and their staffers safe. This in light of a congressional staffer testing positive for the virus on Wednesday night. Claudia Ojeda has more from the nation's capital. Senator Lindsey Graham, a close ally of President Donald Trump, on Thursday became the latest member of Congress in this country. Hard at work developing a vaccine can be found in a laboratory in Texas. Pedro Rojas visited the facility to learn more about their work, get some insight into the types of challenges ahead, and check on their progress. The weight and magnitude of the coronavirus pandemic is being felt around the globe. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife, Sophie Trudeau, are self-isolating after she tested positive for the virus. France's Prime Minister calling this the most serious health crisis to hit the country in the past century. And Italy, the worst-hit country outside of China, seeing deaths climb nearly 23% in just one day. Meanwhile, Americans are scrambling to get out of Europe before midnight tonight when the travel ban goes into effect. Rafael Rodriguez has the details. While as Europe becomes the epicenter of the outbreak, in Italy, the virus has overwhelmed the nation's hospitals and brought the country of 60 million to a standstill under strict lockdown procedures to contain the spread. So far, over 800 people have died and there are about 12,000 confirmed cases. Let's go to Clara Martinez Turco. She's joining us from Turin, one of the hardworking on top presidential campaigns are being told to work from home as the number of coronavirus cases. Being said, at least so far, the show or campaign for the Democratic nomination must go on. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are still scheduled to meet Sunday in a Univision CNN debate in Washington, D.C., but one major participant will be absent, the audience. Luis Mequid has more on the possible implications. And be sure to watch the Democratic presidential debate this Sunday. Washington's Univision's Jorge Ramos will not moderate the debate. This comes after he recently had close contact with a person who was in direct contact with someone who tested positive for coronavirus. Univision's Ilia Calderon will take his place at the debate along with CNN's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Ramos has been cleared by medical professionals and is currently in good health and symptom-free. This is what he has to say. And we're learning the state of Louisiana postponing its primary elections. Louisiana has at least 33 positive cases right now. Voters were scheduled to head to the polls on April 4th. That's now being moved to June 20th. The latest on the last-minute scramble to find supplies. Some stores are already running out of daily necessities, and one product surprisingly flying off the shelves: toilet paper. Azul Alvarez has the details. After the break, a police officer is shot while killed during a shooting in Frankfurt, Philadelphia. Shortly before 6 a.m. this morning, a California police department has released video from June of an officer using what is deemed as excessive force on a suspect. That officer was fired, and another officer involved in the incident has resigned. Malena Marchan has the details. A 10-year-old cold case has been now cracked open. A man has been indicted for the murder of a woman back in 1980, and there's a twist. He's actually related to her. Grecia Lastra has the latest. He's being held without bail and is due back in court on March 25th. He could face up to 25 years in prison if convicted. After the break, Guatemala, also out of Mexico, a story for the ages. The small town of Tultepec in the state of Mexico is officially Mammoth Land. Several prehistoric discoveries have been uncovered there, shedding a new light on Mexico's very first settlers during the Ice Age. Paulina Gomez visited the site of this important archaeological find.
Raiders, archaeologists will keep looking for remains as they believe there could be more traps and mammoths in this area. Paulina Gomez Bulshiner in Tultepec, Mexico, Unews.
Coming up, rideshare drivers heavily to Unews as the coronavirus spreads. More people are practicing social distancing by working from home and staying inside, especially in Washington State, the center of the outbreak in the U.S. But as Ingrid Rojas explains, this lifestyle change is leaving Uber and Lyft drivers without a steady income. Drivers' union sent letters asking for relief from the state and local officials, and Uber and Lyft saying they could face an economic crisis. Still ahead, coronavirus causing have moved to their release dates, social distancing possibly keeping people from theaters, but some films are in fact coming out this weekend. Giselle Robles has a look at them. And now to a story of compassion. Officer Michael Rivers of the Goldsboro Police Department in North Carolina shared a moment. And that's all the time we have for today. Happy Friday. I'm Lorraine Caceres in for Carolina Sarasa. Have a great weekend and stay safe.